Alright, now it's time for my Loud House review for the first time ever. This is Vincent again. You probably know me from my other videos. This video, I will not be showing my face this time. Well, pretty much. And I'll be doing, sorry about that. My throat's got something in my throat here. Hang on. I will not be showing my face this time, and I will be making a few videos to tie in with this. This is episodes, like my top 20 episodes from Season 1 of The Loud House. This is every one of the main characters. These are my favorite characters in the show because they're not only funny, but they're creative. And just so you know, spoiler alert, I will be spoiling not every single little detail, but I will be spoiling what happens in the episode, just the more important things. So let's begin. Oh, and just so you know, episodes from Season 2, double length episodes will not be on this list. This is just Season 1, if I haven't said that already, so I just want to make that perfectly clear to you guys. Really hope that I can upload this. Okay, number 20. It's the episode called Undie Pressure. Now, this was, number 20 because it's the least favorite of mine, and I'm only choosing 20 instead of all 26. Because there were 20 that I actually found interesting, but only for a few reasons that I didn't like it. And I can't show any clips because I'm afraid that that'll be copywriting. So I won't be showing any clips like the Gem Reviews guy does, because that'll be copycatting his videos at the same time, and so whatever. Okay, in Undie Pressure. Oh, and one last thing. These are going from my least favorite to the best favorite. Like, number 1. This is my most least favorite of Season 1. In Undie Pressure, Lola, the little princess right there, right beside Lisa and Lily and the rest on the very bottom row, all the way to the left. See her? Dang it. Sorry about that. That was my stupid watch. It beeps every hour. It gets on my nerves. But anyway, Lola, little bratty princess, well, she acts bratty at times. She's the pretty and one, and she cares about her own beauty and whatnot. Bets Lincoln Loud, right there, the only boy in the family, of course, that if they can give up their own hobbies longer than he can, well, actually, I actually left out a part of this. I'm sorry. Lincoln tries to read a comic book in his underpants for some reason. I guess that's his hobby, pretty much, which I kind of found a bit weird. And so, Lola starts complaining about that. And it's kind of bland. I mean, I can understand she kind of finds it annoying and a bit grotesque, but it actually got humorous.
Sorry.
My mother, everyone. That was my mom. She just came in for a second. That was embarrassing. Not really. Okay, anyway. Lola bets Lincoln that if he can keep his pants on and, not read comics in his underwear longer than the girls can give up their own hobbies, then they won't worry about her or something like that. I completely screwed up whenever I wrote about this. See? Can't even read that. I mean, I'm going on 16 and I'm autistic. How thick could you possibly get? Yeah, someone just driving by. And yes, I am a SpongeBob fan. I will be making more SpongeBob lists. But this is my first time doing a different show list. And it's a top 20 list. It's my first video. Kind of like what the Gem Reviews guys did. Well, anyway, back to Undie Pressure. So, basically, Lori can't text on her cell phone. Lenny can't say light. Luna can't speak or sing a British accent. Lan can't turn every little thing into a sport. Lincoln can read comic books, just not in his own. Which I still think is pretty humorous, but it's kind of grotesque when I first saw it. But now I don't think that that's such a big a deal. Lucy just can't, like, pop up and surprise people. Well, she doesn't, like, just jump out of nowhere. She appears out of nowhere and just surprises them because she's gothic. She's the one right between Lincoln and Lana. Lana, making the muscle right here, on the end of this row right here, she can't play in the mud or get dirty. Lola can't look at herself in the mirror. Lisa can't do any, like, science experiments, and Lily can't cry. Clyde, Ronnie, and Bobby, and even the parents, these 5 characters are not seen in this episode. I'm kind of happy about that. And, so anyway, so they all go through the contest one by one. And they all lose except for Lily, who doesn't cry at all. Which they are actually surprised at. And so, Lincoln is just really upset that he lost the contest, and now he can no longer read comic books in his underwear. He can still read them, just not almost completely naked. It was kind of grotesque for me, and I kind of found it obscene, but I won't get into all that. Lola buys Lincoln a prize pair of undies so that way he won't be sad anymore. And that was actually the prize that he was talking about early in the episode. I'm sorry, I totally forgot to mention that to you guys. If he even said it himself that if he wins the contest, then he wants a special prize pair of underwear that are absolutely perfect. Brief, I guess. And so Lola goes ahead and buys it for him, buys the pair for Lincoln at the end, so that way he won't be so sad anymore. And I chose this for number 20 because, for 2 reasons. Lola acts a bit bratty, and is kind of obscene with Lincoln's hobby. But everything else is kind of humorous. Like, it's actually pretty funny whenever Lenny says like 2 seconds after the contest starts. Lucy just appears and scares all of the other kids by mistake and just, like, remarks with, "Dang it." That's literally all that she says, and just this red X appears on Lenny and Lucy and the rest of the kids as they lose. And so, Lana finally gets out in the mud. Lisa can't control herself and goes on to make another experiment. Lori goes to the door to see her boyfriend, which she couldn't do. Luna speaks in a British accent. Luann tells bad jokes, like, hysterically, but also hilariously. And Lynn turns everything into a sport. And Lily doesn't even cry. Seriously, she just stays silent and pretty much out of, like, off screen most of the entire show. But this episode actually gets humorous whenever Lola and Lincoln are supposedly the last 2 in the contest. Other than Lily. But Lola, she's trying to put on her makeup without a mirror because that was her hobby. Well, you should know. And she can't, like, withstand herself without a mirror. And so it actually gets kind of funny whenever she looks in the doorknob at the front door to see her face. I give this episode a 2 out of 10, and it also failed because it was just kind of bland. There wasn't anything that exciting. It's just like, it's kind of like watching, like this really boring SpongeBob episode. It kind of reminds me of that. So, yeah. And that's the story of Under Pressure. Now, let's talk about number 19. A Tale of Two Tables. That's right, A Tale of Two Tables. I'm not trying to make these episodes look bad in any kind of way. but I really, 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 really dislike some of the jokes in this episode. A Tale of Two Tables. In this episode, Lincoln feels like he's ready for the adult or mature table, but starts to remember when he ate at the kiddie table. Now, I get that this focuses on dealing with growing up and maturing, but a couple things just flat out bother me in this episode. And that being, number one, Lincoln makes a bean rhyme at the adult table, which is embarrassing, not only to him, but to the viewers and to his own sisters. The first five sisters. And number two, whenever Lincoln acts childish at the adult table, I get that it's meant to be funny, but it's just stupid and it's bland. Again, not trying to make the show look bad in any way. Ever. Number three, Lincoln even dreams about his sisters telling him that he can never go back to the kids' table and that he's one of them now, and it's just completely freaky and just graphic. I find that scene graphic. It's kind of a big word to use in just a small little 10 to 11 minute episode. And things get worse, but no, I just don't care for this episode. But as for me, I am a TV or even Nickelodeon critic. Seriously, I criticize anything very specifically, but I don't try to make people hate on it or make it sound bad or ruin its good name or the creator's good name in any way. So I apologize if this sounds offensive to any of you Loud House lovers. Any of you who love the Loud House. Hang on, I just gotta get the next list. Here we go. Okay. Sorry about that. Number 18 is Space Invader. I would call this episode bland, gross, graphic-ish, and obscenative just a little bit. In this episode, Lynn gets into a fight with Lucy, and Lynn moves in with Lincoln, much to his annoyance. So, Lynn makes two bad choices. One, giving Lincoln a Dutch oven even though she's a girl, which is grotesque and obscene. And she even says that there is a lack of balls in Lincoln's room, which I found that it was just trying to be like funny, but no, absolutely not. So Lincoln tries to make the girls make up, which they do, but they start having a fun food fight just for fun. They start fighting with the food that Lincoln makes up for them again, and just start throwing it around after the real fight, and they just start having fun with it, and they realize, Lucy makes a remark that she and Lynn can't sleep in their own room because it's so messy. So they both have to sleep in Lincoln's room because theirs is a total mess, and he's actually okay with it. I give this a 3 out of 20. Like, 3 being bad, 20 being, okay. This episode is gross and obscene and humorous in some ways. It's also funny, but again, no. That'd be like me talking about a Pig, Goat, Banana, Cricket episode. That show is absolutely, like, just graphic, disgusting, and absolutely obscene to anyone who is from the ages of 1 to 22. I mean that, and I hate that show and its characters. That show is bad even without me talking about it. But as for the Loud House, it aired back in 2016. It's been a year, and it's already been nominated for a Kids' Choice Award. And yes, I am a huge Nickelodeon fan. Don't mind these. But seriously, see this? This is all Nickelodeon right here. I'm not going to get into all this. But 2016 is when the Loud House started, and 2017 is like this year, of course. No, duh. That was kind of stupid for me to say, but whatever. And they've only been on for maybe not even a year, and they've already been nominated for an award, but lost to SpongeBob. SpongeBob won for like the 15th or 16th time, and people still love him. I do. I still love him in every way. I'm just surprised that they keep on choosing SpongeBob. SpongeBob has won maybe, let's see, one being this year, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, probably half of all these Kids' Choice Awards pictures. And this is most of them. 2017, this year, is the 30th anniversary of the Kids' Choice Awards. But now I'm going to stop talking about that and get back to the review. Sorry. Number 17, The Sweet Spot. Now, this episode is kind of bland, and it's unhumorous, and it's just about one of the characters being selfish, and that's pretty much it. This episode is just about Lincoln and his sisters getting ready for a big car trip, but Link, I call him Link, gets selfish when he is planning for being in the best seats, and also leaves the girls with the worst seats, and they don't think that that's very fair. And so he goes around just tricking them into sitting in specific seats, and that's basically it. It's even worse, and I vote this episode for like number 21 for being worse than Undie Pressure. Again, once again, not trying to hate on the show, but I do not like this episode. It gets even worse whenever everyone starts fighting, and then they get into a fight the second time whenever they're about to get ready to leave, and they destroy the van, literally. Their vehicle is a van from all the ruckus that they were making. So the trip gets canceled, and everyone has to stay inside and just get along with each other on the couch. Because until then, they're not going anywhere. Isn't that something? So Lincoln, right towards the end, starts talking to the viewers. Sorry about that. In case something went wrong with the audio, I'm not sure, but something just popped up with the battery. So I'm not stopping or anything, but I really hope that this doesn't affect the audio. Sorry, as I was saying, Lincoln starts talking to the viewers, as he always does in every single episode, breaks the fourth wall, per se, about the sweet spot on the couch, and talks to Clyde on the walkie-talkie, and I really don't like the Clyde gags, because he's only seen in the episode 3 or 4 times for a very short amount of seconds. He probably appears in all those segments all together for maybe a full minute and a half throughout the whole episode. He made a kind of a comical joke. Sorry. My mouth is sort of dry. Hang on for just 1 second. Okay. I tried getting a drink. Maybe that'll help. And, yeah, I really just don't find the Clyde segments funny that much in this episode, but he did kind of have a comical joke. And, like, the fight scenes are just phenomenal. They are fails kind of phenomenal. What I mean by that is, it's just the first time they wake up everyone in their neighborhood, surprisingly, and okay, that was pretty humorous. And so Lincoln talks to Clyde once again at the end of the episode on his walkie-talkie, and just opens the door, runs downstairs, and the episode cuts off and literally ends right after that. Now the gags are okay, but Lincoln not only disrespects his family members, but by just leaving them with nothing, and just just disrespects them. And yes, I apologize if this doesn't make sense, but he's very selfish about this whole thing. It's literally pretty much just about Lincoln just basically only just tricking all of his sisters into just getting like the worst seats in the car just so that way he can have the best one, which he calls the sweet spot. And that's pretty much what this episode is. It's just a bland, not very great, not very good written episode. I am done talking about this one. Now, on to our next one. For some reason, I put all these ones behind me because I didn't think that I'd have time to do them, like to make a video, which this video has gone into 21 minutes right now. But there it is. Oy. Number 16 is Making the Case. I really hope that you guys don't hate on me for this, but I find this episode kind of like it has a little bit of censorship. Lincoln wants to win a contest at school, but in another foolish and more selfish and self-centered and just plain almost completely for no reasoning ways, just records most of his sister's embarrassing moments. Like, just to name 3 of them, Lori's flatulence, which I found grotesque, Lola sleeping at night, which was just personal, and Luna's was actually kind of funny, where she's practicing a stage dive in front of her mirror in her room and rips her pants, which I thought was just funny. I really just started laughing when that scene would start. I just love her character. She's just full of funny moments. Especially in Overnight Success, that violin gag towards the end, that is just hysterical. And so, yeah, Luna's is just funny. When the girls find out and don't forgive Lincoln, Lincoln gets torn up because he created his own problem and he hurt himself as a big result. So now he makes a bad choice that he and Clyde knew were not good in any kind of way, and so Lincoln is just going on with his plan and just hurts his family members, but mostly himself. I give this episode a B- because he actually wants and tries to fix his own problem. Again, he hurts himself and his family for literally no reason, and just does something absolutely bad. So, in order to make up with his sisters, he embarrasses himself by recording his own bad moments, and when he comes home the next day, his sisters look like they're still mad, but actually laugh and forgive him to try to get even, and it ends when two reasons. One, Lincoln gets a tiny trophy for being a good brother, and I thought that was pretty nice. That's what saved this. But what really saved this was when Lori passes gas again, but of course off screen this time, and almost completely silently, but says, "It was my shoe." Now, that joke, which was used just a few minutes earlier in the episode, saved this episode for me. I was literally just about to end this episode because it was just that bad at first, with Lincoln being selfish again. But this is different. Or, well, whatever. Now, number 15. Left in the Dark. This is the first full-length 10-minute episode of The Loud House Show. Once again created back in 2016 by Chris Savino. By the way, spoiler, Paramount and Nickelodeon are actually thinking about making a feature film of this in 2020. Won't that be fun? This episode's funny, It's suddenly Halloweenish themed. I mean, it's the first full episode after it's short and the pilot. But it's funny, it's entertaining, and it's creative. It's about Lincoln wanting to watch the big episode of a Ghost Hunters parodied TV show called ARG. No, not like pirates. Like you're screaming ARG. Lincoln starts distracting most of his sisters, and Lucy's the only one who Lincoln forgets to distract. Lucy wants to watch her favorite show on the same TV that Lincoln wants, so Lincoln gets the old black and white TV for Lucy, who gets super happy about it, but just doesn't really show it. Sometimes she's happy and sad, but she's just gothic, so you can't really tell what her emotions are. She's funny sometimes. But as soon as Lincoln plugs in the TV for Lucy, the entire house enters a blackout, and everyone gets mad at Lincoln. But now, Lincoln has to find a way to fix everything by acting out his show that he's missing anyway. It's literally premiering as he's doing all this. Every joke is just plain good. Like, Lincoln introduces himself as the show's host, as ARG's host, that show that he's missing. 2, Lily's diaper gag is funny. 3, mistaking the laundry for a monster, which is pretty funny. And Lincoln finds and restores the lights in the end, and realizes he missed his show, and it's just super just completely just almost in tears about it. Which I say, grow up, man. Even though he's 11. But the girls cheer him up by making their own show, which is literally based on the show that Lincoln just missed. That is fun to see. I love how Chris Savino did that. And they did this for their brother and all as well. I'd give this a C+ episode for the show. But this is only like the second or third episode of the show that I've ever seen in my entire life. And I will be doing more reviews from there. I will be reviewing episodes number 14 through 1 as this goes on. So you guys just stick around and just wait for those to come. So thanks for watching, and I'll be back for part 2.